Hi, welcome to this new Triggre Weekend Masterclass video. And in the previous video, I explained how you can create a dashboard with all the registered hours. And today I'm going to explain to you how you can create a report in PDF using those same filters and some other stuff. So let me show you how that works in the application. And after that, I'm going to give you a little bit of a few pointers that you can keep in mind while creating a report like that. So let's go to the manager's view. We have the dashboard here and we've got employees. Well, let me select both employees and one project. Well, let's do two projects. Why not? And a date from and a date to. And as you can see here, I've got a button called Create PDF. And what you would like to have is that the filters that I just selected are also visible on the report itself. So you can always reconstruct the report with the same filters. So I'm going to create PDF and Triggre will generate that PDF. And there you go, we have it over here. So you see the employees, comma, and the other one, we see the both projects, which are also comma separated, and a date from and a date to. In this case, I use the employees comma separated because I don't want to use a table for that, because the table could become very long if you've got like 90 employees. And I think it looks nicer in the report itself when they're comma separated. So that's why I chose that. But you have to create it yourself. And I'm going to show you how I created that so that you can create it yourself as well. So let's go to the designer. So there are two things that we need to do. First of all, we need to create a data item, and after that, I'm going to show you how I've created this in Flowpart itself. So at the data item, we need to add one data item, which is called temp text. And I added a property called temp text as well, which is any text. You might be wondering why that is, but let me show you why you need this data item. So we go to the flow parts and we have the registration hours report PDF. And what do we do here? Well, first of all, we have a lookup with a list of all the hour registrations that we need based on the filters that we use. So that, this filter is exactly the same as the one that we have on the page itself. But this is where I would like to elaborate a little bit more about. Like I said, I wanted to create a list separated by commas. And how do we do that? Well, there are three things that we need to do. First of all, we need to create a record in the database that we can extend the text of. We extend that text with every iteration of a repeat action. And in the end, we need to cut off a part of that text to make it look more beautiful. So first, we start by creating a temp employee, as I call it in this case. So we've got the temp text. It's only one property, as you just saw. And I create a record with a text, but that text is empty. So technically what I've just created is a single record without any text. Now we need to go into the repeat action. So what I do here is I take every employee from the filter itself and I've created a repeat action on that. So what do? We take that record that we just created as a temp text record. We take the value of that property and we add a comma and a space, and after that in this case, email address of that employee. And we do that every iteration. So the next iteration, you get the first employee, comma, space, second employee. Third iteration, you get the first two employees, comma, space, third employee, etc., etc. So that's what we do here. It's very important that the creation of the record in the data item is outside of the repeat action, because else you'll generate new records every time, and it's very important to use the same record. So that's what we see here. So we got the temp employee with the temp text that is linked to it. We add a comma and a space here, and after that the email address of the current employee. Then we save that text at the temp employee again. So the next time the text is larger, add it again, even more larger, then etc. etc. You get the drill. However, what do we have? What is important to keep in mind? We do comma space employee. So that means that the first iteration you add comma space employee. So this piece of text always starts with comma space employee, comma space employee. That doesn't look very nice. So we would like to cut off the first comma and space. So it just starts with, in this case, the employee's email address. We do that in this action where we say cut the temp text from position number 3 till the end. Why position number 3? We start at 1, we got the comma, we got the space, and then we've got number 3. We use that in the PDF to show, and at the end of the flow part, we delete that temp value. If you've created 40 million reports, you've got 40 million records where you don't use them afterwards anymore. It takes time to go through when you create a lookup. It requires resources. So my advice is, at the end of the flow part, remove those temp items to keep it clean. And that's how you create a comma-separated list of values that you can show in your report. 3 more things. First, please like this video if you enjoyed it. Second, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And third, last and most important, see you next week.